Oh, so let's talk about temptation. We're going to get into the book of James. And because we getting into James, we about to get convicted. Hold on to your seat, because James don't be pulling no punches, huh? James gets straight to it. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Let's pull that one back out the hat, huh? Let's get into it. 1 James 13-15, it says, when tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Now, let's look at that. When you're tempted, you're dragged, baby, dragged by your own evil desire. Then it gives birth to sin, and sin to death. So I want to talk about this sin, because it talks about how you're enticed, about how you're drawn into. See, there's an outside entity that drags you away, that entices you, that pulls you. How does that thing get dangled in front of you? When you are enticed by, when you are dragged away by your own evil desire, what is Satan using to entice you? What is he doing to pull you away, to drag you away? See, we tend to think of sin, evil desires, as going to the club, partying, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, drunkenness, gossiping, backstabbing, having an evil heart, fighting, being real worldly, having a foul mouth, being immodest, being promiscuous. But when we're moving in sin, we're moving outside of the will of God. So I want you to consider this. What has the enemy enticed you with to get you to move outside of the will of God? Safety, comfort, security, familiarity, the known, control. What is he dangling in front of you that is pulling you away, that is dragging you away from the will of God for your life? You got to know that is the enemy. And once when I know that's the enemy, I can understand that because it's the enemy and the enemy seeks to kill, steal, destroy, and devour, and the enemy is lying to me, I cannot trust that thing that's being dangled in front of me that is leading me outside of the will of God. Because in the end, the path leads to destruction. It is the path that many are on. And it comes with ease, but it is the highway to hell. So what is he using to entice you? Because many of you all know exactly what it is that God wants you to do. You may not like it. Because what God may want you to do is just be still and know that he's God. Is enter into his peace, enter into his rest, to perfect your faith, to build your character. You see, Eve, she knew what God wanted her to do. Satan didn't trick her. She turned around and she said, no, God said. But then she looked and it was pleasing to her. She got fixed on the desire. And because she got fixed on the desire, after the desire was conceived, it gave birth to sin. And sin, when it was full blown, gave birth to death. Know Satan's tricks. Know Satan's wiles. See, for many, he's using fear. You're moving in fear. You're considering moving in panic. I need you to know that the Lord is not going to instruct you in ways that originate from fear and panic. God is not one that because it's uncomfortable, because suffering is present, he will lead out of that and instruct you out of that. You're experiencing hardships. And it's hard. God's not leading out of that place. And when I say that, if that's your place of origin and you say, I got to act in opposition to that, then you got to understand that Satan, because it's Satan that doesn't want you to be in that. Because he knows what that suffering, what that hardship will produce. Right? It produces hope. It produces character. It produces perseverance. When you're making moves out of fear and out of panic, you got to know that's all Satan. Because God doesn't give the spirit of fear. He gives this power, love, and a sound mind. That's what the Lord gives us. So don't allow the devil to pull you into sin. Don't allow the devil to tempt you. Don't think you're good because you're not doing this surface level sin. The Lord is going deep. And he's working on your faith. He's working on your character. He's doing so much more. And it's through hardships. It's through testing. It's through trials. Let God finish his perfect work and don't be swayed. Don't be tempted. Don't be dragged away by sin and move outside the will of God. Know what its end result is. It's not good. It is not worth your soul.